Superheroes are fire and we all know it. From their powers to their stories to their fits. Okay, some of the fits, not all of them are winners. I'm not gonna lie, bro, I gotta get some off my chest here. Until recently, I was a fraud. I had never touched a comic unless it had Damian Wayne in it. I mean, come on, bro, that's a big name. Can you blame me? And I wanted to fix that, but just because back in the day, I happened to like binge all of the Marvel movies from Captain America, the first Avenger to Endgame. And I loved it. It was peak. Even though I wasn't much of a fan of a lot of the stuff that came after, I really enjoyed my time. And recently, like after seeing a bunch of stuff on like social media, like, you know, panels and shit I just thought was fire, I decided I'm gonna read the comics. I realized something about myself. I'm a nerd ass nigga. I just wanted to know like every detail because I always watch and read everything in chronological order. Like I mean,
this is how it's intended to be watched.
A few moments later.
I did not realize it was gonna be as much work.
Is this nigga serious?
So let me give you the tutorial for what I'm gonna be doing in this video. It's gonna be kind of like a diary for my comic book journey, right? That you're just reading for some reason. Do you read every diary that you see just lying around? Nigga, who actually writes in a diary? Fair point. So I'm gonna just talk about my favorite arcs, my favorite characters, and some cool abilities I see. It's gonna be all nice and neat, just stay with me. I wanna get you some food and something to get comfy. You might even learn something you didn't know comic-wise. I'm telling you, bro, I'm getting up there with ball knowledge. So I'm gonna be using this thing called Continuity Guide for reading Marvel. They're pretty thorough from what I can tell, and believe me, I'm gonna need that. Shout out Tommy and everyone else who works on Continuity Guide. It just made my life so much easier. So starting with the beginning of Marvel Comics as we know it, we have what the Continuity Guide calls Assemble! That's what they named this era. During this era, we see a lot of like origins for a lot of the superheroes we know today. From the like Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, Daredevil, Thor, all of them, right? And we even see the Avengers form later on. We see the X-Men. Now, before I talk about my favorite arcs from this era, I gotta say, old comics are so goddamn wordy. Like, it's just crazy. Like, I walked into this thinking, oh, this is gonna be a piece of pie. I'm gonna read these comics like fast, because like modern comics, they only take like 10 minutes tops maybe to read, right? These hoes take 20 minutes per issue at least, because there's just huge amounts of words in every bubble. There's fucking these yellow things that literally just yap on for everything and describe every little aspect that we, damn. And I'm gonna have to read over 1,000 of them, bro. Over 1,000. All right, let's talk about my favorite arcs from this era. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot of the comics in this era weren't that great. Like, the only standouts of the whole era that were just like consistently good like the whole way through was the Fantastic Four and Spider-Man. Holy shit, everything else besides maybe like the Avengers and X-Men was just a big bucket of mid. Especially the Hulk's first fucking comic run. I see why it got discontinued. Dude, like instead of anger making, you know, Bruce turn into Hulk like we all know, they made bro a werewolf. He only hulks out at night. That was absolute ass. The hardest part of getting through this fucking comic shit was getting past those comics because they had a 100% sleep rate for me. Meaning, I fell asleep every time I read something from it. I am so glad Hulk got so much better over time thanks to like team ups. Because one thing this era of Marvel did really good, it did really good at telling stories throughout multiple different like comics, I'd say. Because Hulk's like storytelling wasn't just in, you know, his comics. He only had like I think 6. He actually got a lot of depth outside of his own comic, which was fire. Same for Namor. The best arcs from this era to me was Fantastic Four's little Frightful Four / Galactus arc. That shit was absolute gas, no breaks. Like, we got to see like a crazy storyline where the Fantastic Four get fucking hard countered, and Sue goes from like damsel in distress, because bro, Sue in the beginning of like comics, she was ass, dude. She can only go invisible, right? I'm so glad they gave her the ability to just make fucking invisible barriers. That's so much better, because she goes from like being always a fucking damn, like literally on every fucking cover, she's fucking captured or something, bro. And then in this arc, it kind of like turns, because like she gets knocked unconscious and she creates a fucking bubble while unconscious, by the way. And the Fantastic Four are stranded on an island, and a fucking nuke goes off that's strong enough to fucking vaporize the island, and her bubble tanks it. And power scalers, do what you will with that. And after this little crazy shit right here, we immediately get fucking Galactus. Come on, bruh. Stan Lee, the GOAT, he knew what he was doing. He was fucking cooking. Another one I liked was Doctor Strange's Eternity Saga. I mean, this shit was good. Like, basically, it was Baron Mordo and Dormammu teaming up, and they just fucking ran Strange as shit, bro. They made bro go on the fucking run, and he had like he was basically on the run, and a bunch of different magicians was like coming after him, trying to collect a prize from Baron Mordo / Dormammu. Bro, it was fire. It's like a fucking spy movie, but with magic in Marvel. It's tough. Like, I really need a remake of this. Like, whether it's a comic book or an animation, maybe even like a movie, something like that, it would just go crazy. Maybe there is a remake and I just don't know about it though. Another one I really liked, Spider-Man's first Green Goblin arc. I don't know how to describe this one because I know there's like a lot of Green Goblin arcs. I don't even think this is really the first Green Goblin arc. Basically the arc where Green Goblin figures out who Peter is and he has him captured in a cave, and it's so fire because it was the most locked in I've been for reading a comic throughout this whole journey so far. Lastly, Uncanny X-Men's first Juggernaut arc. It was just perfect. Like, the just build up to introducing the Juggernaut. Not only is he just a big part of X-Men lore in general, his whole origin story, you know, Cain Marko being Professor X's stepbrother, it was just fire. Everything was just so tough. It was perfect. These are in no particular order, by the way. I'm not ranking them or anything. And in this arc, my favorite three characters were Spider-Man, The Thing, and Iceman. Like, it's honestly crazy how funny The Thing is. He would literally have me reading what he's saying, and then I would just laugh out loud in the quietness of my own home. Alright, now we've got the second era of Marvel Comics, which Continuity Guy calls Prescroll War. And in this era, a lot of like side characters from other comics, they started to get their own comics like Silver Surfer, Captain America, Doctor Strange, and some new characters pop up like Captain Marvel. Well, the OG Captain Marvel, so Marvel, get me more fancy with it. We see Doctor Strange, Namor, and Hulk form the Defenders. Like, we get a lot in this era, honestly. But noticeably, a lot of story quality in some comics went down. Like the Avengers, a lot of the stories were mid until we got to the Ultron saga. Daredevil probably took the biggest hit because Daredevil got so fucking ass. Like, it was insane. Like, let me tell you, bro, this is so stupid. For some reason, right, secret identities are just so fucking integral in the beginning of Marvel, right? But Daredevil definitely did it the worst way. Dude, Karen and Foggy figure out that fucking Matt is Daredevil, right? And the way Daredevil decides to maintain his secret identity is the most outlandish shit I have ever seen. The nigga tells him that he's not Daredevil and that he has a twin brother named Mike Murdock. So he pretends to be so he walks in one day and he pretends to be Matt Murdock. Not Matt. Mike Murdock. And he just acts completely differently. Dude, that was just so ass. Like, that's not me saying, yo, I'm not Jermaine, I'm Mac. I just start shitting and farting everywhere and blaming Mac. Like, no, bro, that's my asshole. Another gripe I had is like Silver Surfer's comics. I really wanted to read Silver Surfer's comics, right? And I was really excited for them. And when I got to reading them, they were entirely too long. They were fucking 40 pages average, bro. And some of them weren't even like good enough to warrant that. But I gotta admit, it's not all negative. Like, X-Men, they stepped up their game big time. Like, during I'm gonna call this the Polaris arc, because this is where she's first introduced, right? Uncanny X-Men just started getting so good. It was insane. Like, they didn't miss at all. They went so long without missing, they didn't get a single comic in the next era. My favorite comics from this era were Uncanny X-Men's Polaris and Havoc arc, because not only do they give us some of the best... Basically what I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted is that they gave us the best character introductions I've seen yet, and some really deep storytelling, like from Trask and the Sentinels, and bro, my favorite mutant Iceman gets some screen time. I also really liked Fantastic Four's Adam Warlock arc, which was pretty good. We see the first appearance of Adam Warlock, and we see his creation, the backstory and all that, but something I found really cool, right? Until like the next era, he's not even called Adam or Warlock. He's literally just called him, which is insanely tough. I'm surprised Marvel Rivals doesn't like make a callback to that. Lastly, I got the Avengers Ultron / Vision saga, and it was really good. It was the first appearance of Ultron, also Vision, and we see him become a good guy. Like, it's just one of the better Avengers stories. My favorite characters from this point in time are The Thing, Captain Marvel, and Silver Surfer. They're all strong characters. Alright, this is where I've read up to so far. Kang War. We see a bunch of changes in the Avengers lineup all in this one era. It's a bunch of changes. We see Kang timeline shenanigans in like all their glory. The infamous Spider-Man story where Gwen dies. The OG clone saga for Spider-Man. A couple marriages. Speaking of that, I hated what they did with Crystal and Human Torch. For context, because I know a lot of people probably won't know about this. Crystal, the Inhuman, had a really long relationship with Human Torch, right? Bro was even thinking about marrying her. Then, like, a storyline happened and she had to go back to her kingdom because for some reason she doesn't have, like, a good immune system to be in the outside world too long. But, like, at this point, she had already been in the outside world for at least, like, a year. So, I don't know, bro. That's low-key an ass pull. Fast forward a little bit, because they've been away so long, Crystal is kind of, like, losing feelings. And then she ends up, like, saving Quicksilver after he sacrifices himself in a X-Men storyline, I think. And she ends up nursing and caring for him. And then, out of nowhere, Human Torch gets his girl taken by Quicksilver. Dead ass. He just takes his girl. Nigga Johnny got his girl taken by Quicksilver? Quicksilver, you gotta be fucking kidding me. And then you got the nerve to make them get married before you make Scarlet Witch and Vision. Hell no, bruh. If there's one rule I know, you don't let anybody steal Human Torch's girl. That's an oxymoron. Yes, I know. My vocabulary bag is deep. That's probably the biggest gripe I have with this era. That and the fact Daredevil comics are so hot ass right now. Like, I know a lot of people say Frank Miller's run is good, but I am nowhere near that right now, bro. So I don't know, like literally, I don't know who the fuck the writers at this point thought Daredevil was. That legit had bro going into space fighting people. Like, he's not fucking Batman. He doesn't work there. Alright, so my favorite comics from this era, right? Okay, this isn't an arc, but this Hulk story, it's the Incredible Hulk 1968 run. After it like came back. It's number 205. It's called In the Heart of the Atom. Hulk is shrunk down into the microverse and he meets this girl called Jarella, right? And she welcomes him. I'm pretty sure she's a princess. And she literally just made Hulk feel so comfortable. Like, she made Hulk and Bruce Banner fall for her. That's a rare occurrence. And it's so tragic because Hulk felt at home for once, just for it all to abruptly end and he had to go back to the fucking world he was in where he's just fucking hated. And I'm pretty sure bro was about to be a king. Another one I really liked was the big event, Thanos War. You know, it was a big fight against Thanos. You know, he was trying to impress Death. And those fire seeing his origin story and figuring out why, I figured out why he's called the Mad Titan. He's literally a Titan. Another one I really liked was Adam Warlock's first comic run, right? It was I'm gonna just call it the Universal Church arc. It had pretty much everything I have to ask for from a cosmic level Marvel story, right? Enjoyable characters, good art, important characters being introduced. I think we even see like Thanos foreshadow something about like the Infinity Stones later when he's talking to Adam. I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on that. Lastly, for this era, I really liked Iron Fist first appearance arc. I don't know what to call it. I'm just calling it his origin arc. It's so cool. Its lore is so fire. Danny Rand is just interesting. The whole like little mysterious ninja popping up was fire. Until of course I saw who it was. You know, that kind of wasn't it. And the conclusion to the arc was fire as well. Like, I could just imagine this arc being turned into like a Sifu type game. It'd be fucking perfect. Like, if I have a game dev watching this right now, please just make one level based on this, bro. Everyone watching you will owe you some mean that. Man, Iron Fist is just awesome. And my favorite characters from this era are The Thing, Iron Fist, and Adam Warlock. Notice how The Thing made it onto every single one of them because he never fucking drops in character, bro. He's fire. He don't miss. And that's pretty much where I'm at so far with my comic reading. According to the guide, next up I have the Phoenix Saga, which I hear is a really good one. I hear good things about that one. So I'm hoping for the best. If you guys want to see more of my journey, let me know, and I'll come back after I get 3 more eras in. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm out. Peace.